Hello, Ms. Rossi. We are from Group 407, and our team is made up by Angel Araiza, Alan Zavala, and me, Fernando Aguilar. This is the Math 1 first partial project.
So the first step that we did was making a survey to 50 persons. The first question was, are you studying a third language? 84% say yes, and 8 persons say no. That means 16%. Have you considered to study abroad? 90% say yes and 10% say no. That means that 45 people say yes and 5 people say no. And the third and last question was, have you considered to live and work abroad? And 84% say yes and 16% say no. That means that 42% 42 people say yes and 8% say no.
This is our Venn diagram. It was based on the answers from our Google Forms. So for the first question, do you study a third language? There were 33, 4, 6, so it is 37, 39. 42 people said yes to our first question. So to the second question, have you considered to study abroad? So this is a 0, 38, 33 plus 8, 41. 45 people said yes to our second question. And for our third question, 43 people said yes, which was, have you considered to work and live abroad? Our universe, of course, was of 50 persons, and there was no person that said no to the three answers, to the three questions. So there was no one outside of our Venn diagram.
So in conclusion, in the first conclusion, we can assume that all the people we surveyed were students, because almost all of them were studying a third language. In the second conclusion, we assume that people aren't convinced in the education in Mexico, because almost all have considered living once to study abroad. And in the third conclusion, we again could assume that the people who took the survey know a third language, because if they didn't, their studying abroad options would be very few.
So our fourth conclusion is that based on the results of our surveys, we can assume that people don't like living here. Otherwise, they wouldn't consider living anyplace else if they like living here. Conclusion 5, we assume that people like other languages, or at least have the interest to go somewhere else. Again, this connects to number 4, because otherwise they won't spend their time learning a language they don't like. And the sixth and overall conclusion, well, when we chose the question, we wanted to choose 3 questions that were all connected. These were the 3 questions that we most liked. And in the results of our survey, we found that the vast majority of people wants to work and live abroad. This is good in some aspects, because it makes us think outside of here and makes us think bigger. However, it's not good because it also tells us that people don't like living here in Mexico, or don't believe Mexico has the same potential as living and working abroad. This again, we connected this with one of the text values, which is internationally competitive, because everyone believes that they can study abroad and know a third language and live abroad and be successful abroad. So pretty much we found out that all of our conclusions were very connected, but this was due because of the questions were very similar. And well, for myself and for my classmates, we really like this activity. This helped me a lot to understand Venn diagrams, because I had a little bit of doubt, and now it is pretty clear. And I hope this is useful for my first partial exam. Thank you very much, Miss.